Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you have tuned in here today, and I'm looking forward to this interview. Been kind of working on this for a couple of weeks, and you can kind of look around the room, and everybody will recognize most everybody here. But Jim Coons, the previous all-time career scorer from Springfield Catholic and standout at Drury, has been kind enough to join us. And Mr. Kutz, you're in town, and we appreciate you being part of it.
I'm glad to be back. It's been a long time, and we were hopeful to be here for the holidays and Christmas, but that didn't work out with COVID and everything. So it was nice to have an opportunity to get back and see my parents and be able to see some of my family.
1,736 career points at Springfield Catholic, including a state championship your sophomore year, 1984, a 40 to 37 win over Clopton. Let's go back. And your head coach, Jerry Bisher, at that time, and we tried to reach out to him, but he was not able to join. But talk a little bit about your memories from those mid 80s teams there at Springfield Catholic.
Well, when I came in my freshman year, and we had a pretty good team. We went pretty far in the district that year. I wasn't playing as a freshman. I played with my freshman team and then moved up through JV and played some varsity that year. And then really our sophomore year, when the second year under Bisher as our coach, we had a pretty solid team in terms of what I would say our starting five, and really a core 7 people that were all upperclassmen. We had Bob Schrader, Carl Wade, Pat Quinn, Scott Perkins, Mike Vintage, Thomas Bramer. I mean, those were our 7 guys that we had. And then, we had others that I played ball with that were, all those were upperclassmen. And then there's a couple guys from my sophomore year, Jim Gray and Sean Creighton, that were also part of the team. And I know I'm leaving off somebody out of that. Chris Marsh is a freshman. I know he was on the team at the time. I think Jeremy Coatney was on it. So, we had quite a team, and, the 6 of us that, this kind of our core, we played football together. We basically were all 2-sport athletes for the most part from that standpoint. So we had all of our receivers and quarterback from the football team were also our starting 5 for the basketball team. And what was nice back then, we were a 1A school. So when your starting 5 in a 1A school is all over 6 foot, that's a pretty sizable team that you can put on a floor during that time. So, and I think probably one of my biggest memories of it is playing in the old high school gym, because we were a team that we pressed full court, and in that gym it was so small, and with our length and just our athletic ability, it made it tough on teams to come in and play us, and it was always a fun time.
Tell us a little bit about the memories you have of the state championship game, of 40 to 37 win over Clopton, a game where you had 18 points. You had almost half the points in that game. What are your memories specifically about that contest?
That it was, for the most part, I don't have a lot of memories of it in terms of the game. It seems like a blur, but it was just a close game throughout. It was, there was a series of runs by both teams in there. They had good size. I think we were very much evenly matched, and I think you kind of reflects by the score of the game, as far as our teams both played very solid defense. And, it was just one of those nights where we were fortunate to come out on top.
As you look back at Coach Bisher, Jerry Bisher, what are your memories of him and his kind of demeanor on the sidelines, throughout that season and throughout your career?
He was a very tough coach, and his success, I think, was around his demeanor and his toughness. He definitely wasn't easy on us in terms of practice. I mean, we had some practices where we never touched a basketball. It was more about you're going to be in shape. You're going to be able to, to work hard, and, that's going to pay off at the end of the year. And, obviously our record that year reflected that. within the schools that we played and the teams we beat. I mean, we still had our rivals that we still couldn't beat. The whole time I was there, Nixa was obviously our big rival, and that didn't happen the year we won state, but we went on, and I think one of the big ones then, as far as Bisher, I think I think he instilled a toughness in us. He was no nonsense, and he was animated on the sidelines. I mean, everybody, I'm sure he probably had some parents that were cringing, with some of him getting on to the players and stuff. But, he demanded a lot, and, he got a lot out of us.
You talk about animated. Wait till you get in the stadium tonight and watch Coach Simpson. He's a lot of fun. He is a lot of fun to watch. And before I reintroduce you to Don West here, but little known fact, you're one of 44 players. You decide to go to Drury. You're one of only 44 players in over 100 years of Drury basketball to score 1,000 points. You're still in the record book for single game assist record, 17 assists you had in one game. Do you remember that contest?
Absolutely. We were playing Rockhurst, and it was just one of those games where it was Chuck Allen that night, I think, had 42. And I can remember, probably a dozen of those assists were him on back doors, and they just could not stop that. And but it was just a fun night. I mean, I think that's something I always enjoyed about basketball was really passing the ball. As much as, you love scoring, making another teammate look good or, make a good pass is something that I always enjoyed. So from that night, that'll be a tough one. I know maybe I had a little help from Dan Cashel in giving me some assists that were maybe questionable in that 17, but it's, as far as everybody knows, they were all 17 great assists at the time. So.
Well, Don had opportunity, and Don, we talked a little bit about this off the air, an opportunity to maybe be in the house for some of those games.
If you'd like to see the scorecard from that game, I think I've got it right here. I think we broadcast that game back then. I've got Chuck Allen with 36. Maybe I was a little bit short.
I don't know. I know he had a lot that night. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, Jim and I go back to when I was in 5th grade and Jim was in 4th, and he joined our boys club basketball team, and we were suddenly a whole lot better when him and Robert Johnson came in, and Robert went to Parkview and had a nice career there. Kind of lost track of him, and I haven't seen Jim since this 1990 Drury season when I got a chance to broadcast 3 or 4 of his games. But Jim, I haven't talked to you since literally, I think, 1979. It's great to see you again.
Likewise. I was talking to my dad about you yesterday, and it's like, do you remember Don? And I went back. It's like, you remember the Carpet Factory team, the original boys club team that we were on together, and with Robert Johnson. Same thing. I brought up the exact same, mentions with that. So it's been a long time. That's one of my first basketball teams I ever played on.
Do you remember how my dad found you to get you to our team?
Other than I had my cousin Gerald, that played,
yes.
But he was my next. We grew up next door to each other, and he was a year older than me. And other than that, that's the only way I know. You may have a better story than that.
That's about it for me. Bill Mendenhall is the owner of Carpet Factory, and he sponsored our team, and his son played with us. And Brendan McGinnis, who's been a local coach and is retired now, he was on our team too, and several other guys that are a little more blurry than those. But the guy, we had some great times. We got pretty good when we brought in Jim and Robert Johnson. We were able to compete with the Nixa Running Eagles, who were all a year younger than us, but it was Kevin Cheffy and Sean Williamson and a group from Nixa that ended up finishing second in the state when they were seniors.
Yeah, and that year that Catholic went to state and won state, Nixa finished third that season in 1984. So very good. But now to the matter at hand, I would like to introduce Jim Kutz to the new record holder at Springfield Catholic, career scoring record holder, Zach Howell. Zach, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am good. Do you enjoy hearing that history there?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us a little bit about the night that you set the record. Did you know going into the game that you had an opportunity to set it? And have you ever met Jim Koontz prior to this?
No, it's actually my first time meeting Jim, and then so we played Kickapoo in the championship of blue and gold. Lost a tough one, but I knew after that I tied it. So my first bucket would be breaking it, is what I heard before the game. So um, Liam Liam O'Reilly had a little kickback to me, and then I had a three to break it.
And just to be fair to Mr. Koontz, he did not play with a 3-pointer.
That's what everybody keeps telling me.
I won't put an asterisk by it, though, Zach.
You did it,
you
Drew.
earned it rightfully.
Catholic.
And at the end of the day, you'll probably make enough points to exceed my record that the 3-pointer wouldn't make a difference anyway.
There you go. Well, Zach, tell us a little bit about your career. As a freshman coming through, now you're a senior. How has your game changed from your freshman year to now as a senior?
I came in as a freshman and I got a little bit of time. I think I averaged 7 points a game my freshman year, and we had I think a 29-4 season. Went to the state championship. Played a really good Vashon team. Probably 4 or 5 Power 5 guys and probably 8 D1 guys. So it's a really good team. And then ended up losing that by 10. But I think when I was a freshman and even maybe into my sophomore year, I think I was just kind of a 3-point shooter, and I was strong, but wasn't really fully filled out or fully grown. And I think I kind of made a big jump my junior year as far as athleticism and kind of strength goes, and kind of just making my game more complete. And then I think as a senior, I've kind of just taken everything and from athleticism stuff, and I think the main thing is just the evolution of the game and getting smarter with more experience as those years go by.
As you look back at this season, obviously a tremendous season. You talked about the blue and gold. What were maybe some of your goals, personal and maybe team-wise, coming into this season as a Fighting Irish?
The main goal is the state championship for us, and that's the one thing we've been looking to. And I think it was really good for us to get that competition in the TOC this past weekend, and played a tough one against Paul VI and again against Nixa. But I think even though we didn't really come out with many W's out of the TOC, I think it's good for us that we can see that competition, because even going into the state championship, we're not going to see as good of a competition as Paul VI.
Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, Zach, I was going to ask you about another record that you hold in the city. A lot of people might still think that Aminu Muhammad is the single game record holder for points in a game, but you beat him with a 55-point effort last year against Mount Vernon. What was going on that night for you?
I think I missed like my first 5 or 6 shots that game, but my teammates were finding me and I was getting good looks.
Everything just started falling. What'd you hit? 10 threes?
I think so. Yeah, I think I started out the game maybe 0 for 5, and then I think I shot it really well from 3 after that.
What did that Tournament of Champions experience do for your team to take you the rest of the way here now?
Like I said, we're not going to see a better team than Paul VI the rest of the season, and I think it was a really good look for us. We were down 1 with about 3.5 minutes left, missed a shot, the ball kind of scrambled around, and they went and got an and one. That was kind of a big momentum shifter, but I think it did a really good job of preparing us, and I think the blue and gold did that too, because we got to see Nixa twice, Kickapoo once, and obviously Paul VI. So I think it was really good competition.
And I'm going to ask both of you the same question. I'll start with Jim. What's something this evening that maybe you're really looking forward to? Maybe it's the connections. Obviously, here you've got to reconnect with Don after nearly 35
years.
Yeah, What are some things that you're looking forward to just about this evening and about this trip? You live in Texas. You've flown up to be a part of this. What are some things on your mind?
Just really reconnecting with some people that some people I probably won't have seen for 30 years. Another thing is like the new gym, which it's not even new, but I've never been in the current gym. When my senior year, we are the first graduating class out of the new high school, but we moved at the semester from the old high school to the new. So I played in the gym that was the previous gym, but I haven't been in the new facility. So it's going to be nice just to go back and walk the halls and see some people that I haven't been around or seen. And like I said, could be 30, 35 years since I've seen them.
That same question, Zach. What's something tonight that you're looking particular forward to?
It's just it's a special night, and I think it's something I kind of at the beginning of my freshman year before it started, I kind of did a rough estimate of how many points I'd have to average a game to get the scoring record, and it's pretty cool to see it come to fruition.
Very nice. Don,
I'd like to ask Jim, what have you been doing the last 32 years? I haven't seen you since 1990.
Yeah, we moved around a little bit, spent some time in Kansas City, St. Louis, and then for the last 20 years have been in Texas, both in San Antonio and in Houston, just in Friendswood, outside a suburb of Houston. Married with a awesome wife of 29, almost 30 years now, and 3 daughters, one 26, 23, and 21. And so the last one is graduating from, they all went to Baylor. They all graduated from Baylor. And my last one graduates this semester. And then I have my middle daughter is spent the last year and a half, just graduated from Cornell with her master's. And then I have a daughter who's in Houston working for a public accounting firm. So, which is what I do. I'm in public accounting and have been for the last between industry and public accounting for the last 20 years. So
it's been a lot this week, or is it just you here?
My wife came up with me. She was able to come. And then my one daughter's still back at school, and I have another daughter at home. So, but yeah, we came up and were able to see my parents. I'm actually at my parents' house now. And so they're both 93 and still kicking. So,
they still live in the house you grew up in?
Yep, still in the house I grew up in. So,
nice.
So it'll be a nice trip. It's nice seeing. We hadn't seen them for about a year now because of just living in Texas and then COVID and everything else. Wow. So it's nice to be back.
Well, Zach, that's got to mean something to you that the previous record holder has children that are all older than you. So, a great time here to catch up, and I'll let anyone else need anything that they need to say. Want to, first off, Zach, on behalf of the Missouri Sports Network and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations on this accomplishment, and congratulations on the evening. I know it hasn't occurred yet, but it'll be a special night that you're not going to forget.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and I would ditto that as well, Zach. Congratulations, quite of an accomplishment and something you'll be proud of, and hopefully, you'll maintain the record for another 30 years.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Don, you got any closing points here you want to hit?
I just wish I could be there at the game tonight, but I do look forward to catching up with Jim post-game. If you're going to still be there around 10 o'clock, I've got Missouri State hockey tonight, but I'm planning on getting there, and I hope to see you and catch up more with you. Then I've got pictures too. So
great! I can't wait. I'm sure you do. So,
well, gentlemen, I certainly appreciate y'all being generous with your time. This worked out well, time-wise. Zach doesn't have practice because he's got a game. Jim, for you to come up and be a part of this, and Don, always appreciate the Hall of Famer. Anytime I can get him on the air. But, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
You're listening and watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks. Chevy dealers of the Ozarks, no propane, and Great Southern Bank. Keep it right here at Missouri Sports Network.